everybody. Welcome to CricTracker. Welcome to In the Air. What a match that was. This series between India and England is just getting far more interesting than me buying a movie ticket and going and watching some, movie in the theater. And I have our in-house expert, of course, Rakesh, joining us once again. He's also a cricket analyst and, of course, a cricket coach. Rakesh, great to have you. For starters, you did predict that India is going to win. So are you disappointed?
It's not about disappointment, but the way England batsmen, the middle order, the openers, I mean, not middle order, both the openers have given the same start what they have given in the first ODI. But it was Ben Stokes who was hitting everything like brutally. We generally use the word brutal, right? I think that is the apt word to use to describe Ben Stokes' batting as this. What an amazing hitting it was! Like it was like a free to watch, or it was like something. Is it for a second? I was thinking, are we watching an IPL game or what? 10 sixes, huge sixes, man-mode sixes, big sixes, hitting into the stands. If crowd was there in the stands, I think they would have definitely enjoyed watching it, witnessing it live, the way Ben Stokes was hitting. But it was wonderful game. Just putting the result apart, I loved the way Ben Stokes, Bairstow, both of them were hitting brutally, and I think they both were having the competition between each other. It looked like that, but it was Bairstow who started hitting it initially, and then once the things came under control, Ben Stokes started. I think it was when he started hitting Kuldeep Yadav for that 3 sixes in a particular 1 over, and then again Krunal Pandya. I mean, yes, it was wonderful to watch the game.
Right. So I think we'll first start with Ben Stokes' performance, right? What a great performance. Like he said, it was so smooth. It was effortless. Looking at that score, poor fellow. I think the first match we had Shikhar Dhawan getting out on 98, and then we have him on 99. I think that's probably the worst feeling ever. It's but then the other way of looking at it is I wish my maths paper in school looked so great with all these marks. It never reached 99 or 100 ever. So 99 out of 52, and I actually agree with Rakesh. I mean, when you looked at the match today, it was like, wait, has the IPL come a little more sooner than April 9th? And look at that, 10 sixes, 4 fours, 190 for 38 strike rate. Daniel Malik has commented saying, never seen before an easy chase like this. Rakesh, do you agree with that? Do you think it was like a smooth cruiser sort of a process?
Yes, the way Jason Roy and Bairstow have started, they looked very comfortable. They didn't look like they were chasing a big total. They were chasing something which is over 300 or something like that. Started slow and steady, and Jason Roy must be happy with the way he has performed and scored first 50. I guess if I'm not wrong, first 50 of the entire tour. I think, if I'm not wrong, and they both did the same way. And here we have to talk about the record between Johnny Bairstow and Jason Roy. They have played 53 times together, I mean, as openers, and they have given England a good start of 100 plus runs partnership for 13 times and 50 plus runs partnership for 10 times. So what an incredible opening pair. Any team would love to have such kind of players who can give you good starts where the other players can come and play really well. But to give your answer, yes, everything looked very smooth, calm. Till 22nd, 23rd over, England was completely under control. But 2-3 overs where Virat Kohli brought back Bhuvneshwar Kumar, that's where England slightly started going down. But then things have changed. I think Virat Kohli made a couple of mistakes by not bringing Hardik Pandya into the attack for bowling, because all the bowlers were being so expensive. Nothing was working in favor of the Indian team. So just for a variation, because you can try, nothing harm in trying when things are not working. Maybe you could have got 1 or 2 wickets that could have changed the game. So I think that was one of the biggest mistakes in today's game, I would say, because Hardik was bowling well. He was bowling 4 overs and he took wickets. He was not expensive. He was very economical. And at one point of time in one particular game, I think third or fourth T20, he just gave away only 15 runs or 16 runs and taking 2 wickets. So Hardik could have at least easily bowled a minimum of 4 overs. That could have given a different result. Even not a different result, it would have been a good way to at least try and see how you can change the things when things are not working out for you.
Right, and let's take a look is like what Rakesh said about the partnership, right? So let's take a look at the scorecard for in terms of the England players. Let's look at Jason Roy's performance today, who of course did exceptionally well, like Rakesh pointed out. 55 runs out of 52 balls, 7 fours, 1 6, and a strike rate of 105.77. And of course, how can we not talk about Johnny Bairstow? Looking at his performance as well, he's performed exceptionally well. 124 runs, 100 out of 112 balls, 7 sixes, 11 fours, and 110.71 strike rate. That's of course for team, England. They of course did that magic, but of course, even for India, it was not like they didn't, do well. They did do well, and finally, KL Rahul has managed to silence his critics. He finally got that century. So let's take a look at his scorecard. I think he got 108 runs out of 114 balls, 7 fours, 2 sixes, 94.74. Rakesh, the last time we spoke about Rahul, also you said, sometime, some patience, he will come back, and he has come back, and how.
Yes.
So what comments would you want to give about KL Rahul's form?
For players, for kind of players like KL Rahul, they are very, very sound with their technique, very sound with their mindset, very sound with their body language. It's just that he was going through a bad patch where things were not really working out well for him. But once he gets into that rhythm, once these type of players gets into that momentum, then it really becomes hard for any bowler or any team to stop these kind of players. So he was trying to pace up the innings really well. I think took it too hard when critics were criticizing, saying that this guy is done, he's not performing, he's not eligible to play in the team or something like that. He's a very hard worker. He's a fighter kind of guy who really comebacks well, because we have seen his career throughout, because he has gone through these type of patches for many multiple times. But I'm really happy for the way KL Rahul has scored a century, and not just about century, but he has maintained that consistency from the first ODI to the second ODI, and converting that 50 into 100. That must be a happy moment for KL Rahul as well as Team India.
Right, that's for sure. I mean, I think, and also the Punjab franchise can finally breathe a sigh of relief that, okay, Rahul's back now. I don't think we have to worry. But we'll also talk about...
should be very happy, I guess.
Who's going to be happy?
Zinta will be happy for
yeah.
happy.
Yeah, for sure. One person, of course, where a lot of speculation, this I've asked you before as well, everyone was expecting Sky to come in. But let's talk about Rishabh Pant. How can we not? And looking at his scorecard, he created magic there out on the field. 77 runs, 40 balls, 7 sixes, 3 fours, and 192.50. It doesn't look like it has been a long time since he played the ODI.
I think Rishabh is playing an ODI after 14 months, if I'm not wrong. He didn't play ODI in this duration of the time, but the way he was playing, it looked like he was just hitting sixes, like he was just throwing the ball, or he was just playing with a tennis ball or anything. Hitting 7 big sixes. It was wonderful to watch. And earlier it used to be like Rishabh Pant performs in one game, then he doesn't perform for multiple games, and then he plays a big innings once in a while. But right now, from last 2-3 months, it's not like that. He's consistently performing depending on the overs he is batting. If he's batting at just like 4 or 5 overs left in the game, he's scoring some 30s, 40s. Today he came a little bit early, and he scored a big one. Yes, it looked like as if he was trying to score a century, and he had a chance to score the century, but unfortunately he couldn't. But like how Indian team will be happy with the way KL has performed, even Indian team will be happy for the way Rishabh Pant has performed as well.
Right, and especially when it really comes about replacing somebody like Shreyas Iyer, and when you look at that, and of course they did have a lot of options, but do you think skipper Kohli definitely did a good job by bringing in Pant instead of as opposed to someone like Gill or Suryakumar Yadav?
I think when Rohit is available, I don't think they'll disturb that opening pair. And Virat Kohli has also mentioned before the start of this ODI series that Shikhar and Rohit are their first choice openers. So they didn't really want, or there's no necessary to change the opening pair and bring Gill back in. And it was a tough call to choose Surya Kumar Yadav or Rishabh Pant, looking at the way how Surya has performed in T20s. But I think they are only looking Surya at T20 perspective, I guess, if I'm not wrong. That's my thought, I guess. That's my thought. Sorry. So I don't think it was a bad decision. I think giving Rishabh Pant a chance, and he has proved. So it's a good decision by Virat Kohli, I would say.
Right, or whoever has tuned in right now, hello everybody, welcome. Of course, England has won the second ODI, and it's back to square one, right? Where you wait till the last match to see who is going to be winning the series, which I think makes the series also far more interesting. Let's take a look at the scorecard now to find out how, of course, both the teams performed, how England's performance as well as India's performance was. Let's take a quick look at the scorecard. Now, over there, of course, India did set a target of 336, and of course, they lost 6 wickets, and KL Rahul being the highest with 108 runs. On the other hand, of course, England beat India by scoring that much needed target. If you look at that, Bairstow, of course, got 124, but Prasidh Krishna got 2 wickets for 58, and things have actually turned. And of course, Topley got 2 for 50 as well. And the interesting part about this is, for someone who was the star of the previous match, on his debut match, do you think that Indian bowlers today were definitely expensive? Like, it looked like what was happening, at a point, it was like they were giving away runs. Like, you made this comment last time around about how the batsmen were like, jaldi jaldi nipta ke jaake baith jate hain, right, for England batsmen. Do you think that's what happened with the bowlers, Indian bowlers today?
But if we compare Indian bowling figures with today's figures, I think it was there's no big change. I would say it is just that in England batsmen have took that responsibility. Even Ben Stokes failed in the last ODI. Today, yes, the captain Josh Butler failed, but by then the time Josh Butler has come in, already the things have been done, and it was almost. It was almost in the hands of England, where they have already won. So it is all about how the way England have approached, the way they started batting. Both the openers did the same thing, like how they did, and Ben Stokes was the huge difference in today's game. He didn't give any chance for bowlers to settle down, and if you see Kuldeep Yadav, who is completely down with his confidence, and he was literally bowling in the slot, where a left-hander can easily slog you anywhere if you're bowling in the slot. So that's where the things have completely gone out of India's control. But by then itself, Johnny Bairstow and Jason Roy have took the match from India, and then I think the difference was England batting. It's not about India's bowling or anything, but India's bowling has to be improved, because in last game and in today's game, it's been so expensive. Not just Prasidh Krishna, even every bowler except Bhuvneshwar Kumar. I think all of the bowlers have been so expensive in last game and today's game, because in the last game the result favored India, so nobody was talking about India's bowling figures. But today the result came in favor of England, so obviously people will start talking, saying that Indian bowlers are expensive. It is not in today's game; it was expensive in the last game as well.
Right. Sarvesh says hello. Hello from the both of us. Rakesh, there's a question for you about Krunal Pandya. Any comments on the bowling aspect there? I know you just said that people are of course talking about that, but any particular comment about Krunal?
Even in the last game, also in the post analysis, we were discussing, saying that Krunal's bowling has to be improved, because he doesn't really have too many variations. If you see today, when Stokes started hitting him, he started bowling too fast. When a batsman is in aggressive mode, and you being a spinner, the more and more fast you bowl, the batsman gets more into, and he hits you out of the park. And that's what we witnessed today. So he has to really work on his bowling skills to get better, and to be at the international level, to cement his place, and to be playing consistently in the Indian team, because India have a
Yeah.
lot of batting options, and there's a lot of competition. There's a competition from his family itself. Hardik Pandya, who is one of the prime all-rounders for Indian cricket. So he has to improve his bowling. He has to improve his variations. He has to understand and learn how to contain runs, how to take wickets, how to bowl at crucial overs. I don't think that part is yet that he has worked on that part yet. I'm pretty sure he'll work on that part. Even if you see in today's game, Rohit Sharma, who has come to him and gave him suggestions, because he knows how he bowls, because they both play together for Mumbai Indians. But still, I would say Krunal has to improve a lot with his bowling skills.
Right. So there are several comments over here saying that do you think it would have been smarter to use Hardik instead of using Krunal? Are you of the same opinion?
I don't say instead of Krunal, but when things are not going in favor of India, Kohli should have got Hardik in and make him to bowl at least 2 or 3 overs, if not 6, 7 overs. I mean, there's nothing harm because things are not working. All your five bowlers, there's nothing working with the bowlers. So you can just bring because he can bowl and he has bowled in T20 games as well. So he could have definitely bowled. I would say not instead of Krunal, but he should have definitely bowled at least 3 or 4 overs in today's game.
And where do you think it was the turning point for England's match? Do you think there was something where you felt like at the point that maybe this match has come back into the hands of India? Do you think anywhere? Do you think when the partnership broke? No, not at all.
I don't think there was any such points where the game has turned into India's favor because both of the Baristro and Jason Roy they started off it very well, nice and easy. They started with 6 runs, 5 runs per over, and the moment they got into that momentum, both of them started hitting very well, and both of they started maintaining that 6 or 7 runs per over. At no
Yeah,
point they were going below 7 runs. In fact, if you see in the last 10 overs, England needed 20 runs, and at some point of time, Ben Stokes and Johnny Bairstow, both of they hit 90 runs in 5 overs in the mid overs, where it was so expensive from Krunal and uh,
Kuldeep.
what is his name? Kuldeep, yeah.
Kul-
So I don't think there was any point where the game got into India's hands. It was completely in England's favor. And they chased the target with 39 balls remaining, and they chased a target of 337. Are we kidding or what?
I think it was an exceptional performance. You're absolutely right. Like you said, at one point you're like, okay, is this IPL? Like, is this T20? What is actually happening? But looking at that, I mean, I know you're of the opinion that cricketers, even if they do not perform in one match, you have to give them time. They could be going through a lean patch or whatever like that. But the reason why I'm going to be asking you this question is because now the third match is a do or die situation for both the teams once again. And Virat Kohli, of course, will be looking to win that series, so that's another feather in his cap swords. So do you think there will be changes for Team India going into the third match, and if yes, what are your predictions?
I'm pretty sure they'll be definitely going with a couple of changes. One change it will be they will be definitely asking Kuldeep to sit, and they might bring Chahal or they might look for another option. But if you see another option, if you want to get a regular spinner, traditional spinner, then Chahal will be the option. And maybe they might rest Krunal as well, or maybe one fast bowler. They might rest Prasidh Krishna and bring back Natarajan in. I don't see any chance of getting Mohammad Siraj or Navdeep Saini in. We might see Natarajan back in the team, or in place of Prasidh Krishna, and we might see some other guy who will replace Krunal. If not, they'll continue with Krunal. But there is 100. This is going to be 100% that Kuldeep have to sit in the next game because there is no option because it's not about his skill or anything. I think he is completely down with his confidence. If you're 100% with your skill, but if you're not good or if you're not at least 60 to 70% with your mindset, then it is going to be really hard. Because after Ben Stokes has hit him for 3 sixes, he was clueless. He doesn't have any clue what he wants to do. So I think that will be definitely one of the changes I think India will do in the third ODI.
And in terms for England, do you see anything changing for them? I mean, also because half, I think, two of them are already sitting out because of injury reasons. But otherwise, in terms of performance, do you see any kind of changes for them?
I don't think England will do any changes because three players who have come in to play, he has bowled really well. Livingstone, because we were also talking about Livingstone and his records in county cricket. Look at the way he counter-attacked Bhuvneshwar Kumar. None of the other batsmen really hit Bhuvneshwar Kumar, but just because of the confidence he has and just because of the situation and the context where England was in, he just played as if he has 10 to 20 games of experience. And and all the play. David Malan also, he just got a chance, and he also didn't get out. So I don't see any changes in terms of England team. It is in India who is going to do the changes in the third ODI.
Well, and it's needed for sure. And the person who's definitely got the man of the match and probably well deserved is Johnny Bairstow with 124 of 112. You think Bairstow was the one who deserved it, Rakesh?
Oh, 100%, because if he hasn't set that thing up, then it wouldn't have become easy for Ben Stokes to play that brutal inning. So yes, he 100% deserves the man of the match award for this second ODI.
That's right. So one point, of course, going to India for the first ODI, and the second one, of course, going to England for that fantastic performance in the second ODI. Now the third one's going to be a do or die situation. And Rakesh, before I let you go, any predictions for the third ODI? If you were to say, of course, now both the teams are looking strong. We've spoken about this, a zillion times. But again, like I think for cricket fans also, it's interesting because after the T20 format really came in, I think that hardly any, times that you see a 50 over format really get that kind of attention that it actually deserves in terms of the kind of matches that we see, like a nail biting finish rather. So,
Yep.
what predictions would you be, giving us before we go into the, third match on Sunday?
I think, see, with cricket, whoever is loving cricket, they don't really think whether it is T20, 50 over a test cricket. Even people used to say, and people are still saying test cricket is dying, but see the way how the ratings are and see the way how the test matches are ending. So for pure cricket lovers, I don't think any format will be boring or they won't complain about any format. And the
Yeah.
best example is the way this England ODI, India-England ODI series is going on. The first ODI, it was a high-scoring game. India won it, and in the first game, at least not it was not like how it went in second ODI. In first
Yeah.
ODI, it was turning in it was going in India's hand and then coming it with England's hand.
Yeah.
So that's the way how fans really wants to see, because they don't want to just see one-sided affairs. So I don't think people are upset or people don't really want to watch ODI, T20, ODI or Test cricket. I'm
Right.
100% sure all the pure cricket lovers will be watching all the three formats, and they'll definitely enjoy watching all the three formats, and they are enjoying this India versus England series, I guess.
Right. And your quick predictions for Sunday, or you're going to stick with Team India saying that they're going to be lifting that cup?
See, today's prediction, none of the prediction went right. I said I said
I
Shikhar
think
will
I
score, Shikhar didn't score. What is that?
I think I jinxed it because I think in the beginning I said, you of course gave your predictions right around the first time around, but what are you predicting for the finals?
Third one, I'm not going to predict it right now. Let's wait and see and then we can actually predict it during the pre-match analysis of the third ODI.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. So that way you will get to, of course, see Rakesh once again on our show on Sunday. Do tune in because it's, of course, going to be the final and we'll have to wait and watch who is going to be lifting that cup. Will it be King Kohli once again? And also we'll have to wait and watch if he finally gets that much awaited 100. So all of us are anticipating to see yet another nail-biting clash between both the teams. Thank you so much for joining us on CricTracker on this live session on In the Air. Rakesh, thank you so much for taking the time out and coming on the show. We will see all of you very soon. Until next time, until I see you, take care, stay safe, and tune in to CricTracker for the latest news in the world of cricket.